Hey, everybody. I forgot to take down the poster. Welcome to this evening. Let's talk autism. If you are brand new to our LTA sessions, what this is open discussion. And I was supposed to pick a topic, but I worked today. I did a 7-day thing today, and I think my mind has just been foggy lately. A lot lately. Hey, Mr. Charles.
Anita, how are you
So
doing?
we will do well, I do have somewhat of a topic that I'd like to talk about, and that would be the levels. But if you are brand new to the LTA open discussion, what this is all about is us sharing our journeys. It's all about autism. You can talk anything autism, and we break the monotony a little bit and laugh a little bit. Mr. Charles is a jokester. But I hope everyone is doing okay. I don't know if Linda's gonna pop on. I know she wasn't feeling well this evening, but let's say hi to some folk. Hey, Teresa, and no, I have not forgotten you. I
Hi,
have not,
Teresa.
Teresa. I just been tired.
Hi, Roxy.
Foxy, and everybody. Foxy is our newest moderator. She's back. So let's welcome Foxy back to the team. Um,
Hi, Lizzie.
hey, Lizzie.
Hi, Alma.
Hey, Alma. And there,
Hi, Sonia.
Sonia. Hi, Sonia. How are you? Hey,
Hi,
Alex. Long
Alex.
time. Haven't seen you around in a while. How are you? Okay. So, um, besides that, I'm doing okay. Tomorrow is the first day of school for DeAndre. So I'm going to take the day off. I need the rest for one, but I decided to take the day off, and I am going to take him in for day one.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, the 11th grader.
All right. Yeah.
So so she said I am old. Yes, Foxy's been with us for a while. Um, so here's I seen this discussion on another platform. It's been circulating about how do you feel about the new DSM model, the latest one, where it shares levels versus the one with the older one where everyone was put under an umbrella. Um, what I was gathering, some people like the added labels to the autism to know where their child is at. So there's Asperger's they would prefer, or mild autism like the PDD, NOS, or severe autism um, versus levels 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey,
just with
Linda,
my.
you popped on.
Hi, Linda.
Hey, how are you guys?
I'm
So
fine. How are you feeling?
I have a migraine, but I'm doing okay. How are you guys?
Oh, I'm doing
good,
great.
good, tired but good.
Good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
good.
No. But, my personally, I mean, my main concern is, as long as we can standardize the terminology and standard terminology, not everybody's going to agree on it, no matter
Right.
what it is. But
No matter.
but yeah, I mean, some people, object to the label of high functioning, saying that
Yeah.
implies that some are low functioning, and that's an insult to say someone's low functioning. Other people You know, some, the problem with the labels of Asperger's and so on is that can get confusing, particularly at PDD, which used to be one of the scientific term for autism, pervasive development disorder. And so, but level 1, level 2, level 3 is clear. The thing that obviously, when it comes to the child, you have to take the label with a certain grain of salt, because, you know, it's an attempt to predict the likelihood of that child being able to function independently as an adult, and you can't be certain of that.
Yeah, I was listening to a young lady earlier who is on the spectrum herself. And what she said kind of, made, and I get both, you know, but make sense, because she said autism is just autism. It's a spectrum. So that's where the levels will come in. So if you have autism, you either have autism or you don't. Basically, is what she's saying. Because it's a spectrum, it varies from person to person. So whereas she may be high on one end, high functioning on one end, on another end she may be low functioning or something like that. I can't remember her whole statement, but I do have the video. I wish I could pull it up. Let me see if I can share that.
Yeah, I think one thing, when it comes to adults, the levels are most meaningful if they represent, the degree of independence. Level 1 is an adult who can survive independently, doesn't need support. Level 2 needs some support. Level 3 needs a lot of support.
Right. Where was that? Now Teresa says my son is level 1, which is PDD-NOS. My son, where that's different with us, Teresa, because when my son was first diagnosed, he was diagnosed PDD, but which would now, well, from my understanding, would be level 2. Level 2. So because they couldn't place him under any other part of the umbrella. And usually level 1 is more of the high functioning.
And that's the thing. I was originally, I was diagnosed with Asperger back
Okay.
when that was the terminology. But, so I call myself level 1 because, well, that's clearly what would apply now with the present terminology.
Okay.
I've never been told by a doctor that I had level 1 autism.
Right. I'm gonna see if I can. I really would like you guys to listen to. You need to stop. That's what. Oh, let me see if I can share this somehow. Let me pull this up while I'm looking for this. Can read. Linda, Linda, can you take over the scroll?
Yeah. Oh, I see it right here.
And
You
Mr.
didn't.
Charles can read, or
Yeah.
Fox. Oh, okay.
Okay. You did
Yeah.
do Roxy's or no? Okay.
No.
So yeah, I know I have been a little more active in the support page, and I'm sad, and I see a lot of parents that are scared to make certain decisions based on what others might think or say about them.
Yeah, it's it's a tough place to be in as a parent, but you sometimes you may have to remind yourself, I need to do what's best for my child. I need to do what's best for my child. Never mind what this person thinks or that person thinks. I need to do what's best for my child. Just reminding yourself of that as a parent can go a long way. and when you have these situations where you do what is what you believe is best for your child, you're going to get criticized. Well, let them criticize.
Exactly. I think too, because of course you know your child better than anybody else. You're the one raising your child, speaking for your child. And I think because the longer you take to get to the point of not worrying about what other people think, the more time is passing by that you could be doing or implementing what you think is right and most likely probably right. So it's best to get that mentality, to overcome that mentality sooner rather than later.
I mean, it's good to be open to hear what other people have to say, but in the end of the day, you've got to look at what's best for your child. And if the advice somebody's giving you, the best you can evaluate it doesn't make sense, that's fine. Thanks for speaking your mind, but I'm going to do what I believe is best.
Yeah.
Okay, I got the. Let's see. Now I have the video, so I'm going
Okay.
to see if I can. Oh, wait a minute! It might not let me. No, that's not what I want. Let me see. Let me go here.
Yeah, that's good, Spencer. Yeah, again, it's doing what's best for your child. The best and the best you can determine is best for your child. Do that.
Attack this commenter,
Okay.
but this is a commonly held misconception that needs to be cleared up.
All right. So here we go. 1 second. Now, before I share this,
And even if you can't get the audio to go, the video to go, if you get the audio, we can still hear the audio at least.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Share. First, before I share this video, let me let you know who this young lady is. This video was taken off of TikTok. And her name is E.J. Thomas. So I'm going to share. And okay. I wanted it a little. It goes big. I gotta learn how to work this thing. Okay, here we go. All right, so let me go back here. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't hear it though now.
This is a commonly held misconception that needs to be cleared up. The autism spectrum is not a spectrum from no autism to lots of autism. It is not linear. You cannot be mildly autistic. You are either autistic or you are not autistic. There is no in between. There's no mildly autistic. There's no super autistic. You are or you aren't autistic. The spectrum that autism spectrum disorder refers to is a spectrum of symptoms. It is a spectrum of how severe certain symptoms are. Someone could have much more severe sensory issues, but less severe social deficits, or vice versa. It is a spectrum of symptoms. Think of the spectrum as a circle and with like little pie charts. Every slice of the pie is a different type of symptom you can have. Some people might have this slice of the pie filled up all the way to the top, but this slice of the pie is only here. If you are autistic, you are on the pie chart. You are on the circle. But the severity of your symptoms may differ, and your symptoms can also differ depending on days. Some days, my sensory issues might be more severe. Some days, my language deficits might be more severe. Some days, my social skills are really not social skilling, and they am way more impacted by my social deficits. However, if you are autistic, you will always be in the circle, and you will always have some combination of all of these symptoms, because these are the diagnostic criteria. You have to have all of these symptoms, but the severity, the intensity, that might vary from autistic person to autistic person. But the spectrum is not linear. You are autistic or you're not. You are not no autism or a lot of autism. You're not just mildly autistic. You're autistic or you're not autistic.
Okay. What are you guys' thoughts on that video?
I don't know. You know, I'm just not sure that, you know, that's necessarily entirely true.
Okay.
You know, that the idea there's no such thing as mild autism, or, you know, there's shades of it. I don't know. You know, I mean, I think, for example, about my brother, and, you know, my mom. After I got diagnosed, my mom was pretty sure he was too, and my daughter and I both think he is, but he's never been diagnosed, never been evaluated. You know, and he's a math professor. He's, you know, functioning okay as an adult. You know, how do you, you know, I don't know. I'm not sure that what she says is necessarily, you know, completely true, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
And I I kind of agree with Charles. Let me see if I can get this out right. So I agree that so you're either testing as autistic or not. That part I agree with. Now the part where she said you're in the pie chart, I agree with that. But as far as where and what colors and what areas you're affected and how severe, I think I agree with it being different severities in different areas, but I disagree and say that you might have fewer effects. So say you have 3 categories that are affected.
Okay.
I think that you can have them minimally affected and still be on the autism spectrum, which I would say is mildly autistic, but you're still autistic. So I think on that part where she says you're either autistic or you're not, I agree with that. But as far as how much it affects you, like either you're an asthmatic or you're not, how much does it affect you? Could be a big varying, you know, I mean, it could be very variable from somebody else and yourself. You know, it may not be the same severity. And I think that that's where I disagree with her.
Okay. I guess when I was listening to it, because I was thinking when I duetted her over there, I was listening to her, and then I said, okay, that kind of makes sense. And someone made a comment, and then I had to go back and listen to it, because someone said, you know, oh no, that's not true. Um, you know what she was saying with the mild and wait a minute, hold on, you guys.
You know, I'm skeptical. I tend to, you know, be skeptical about any, you know, about absolute statements, about sweeping generalizations and absolute statements. You know, there's no such thing as such and such. Um, you know, I'm skeptical about those types of sweeping statements.
Yeah, but I agree. Like I had to listen to it again, but I agree. Like you said, Linda. I mean, if you're autistic, you're autistic. But then that comes with, I guess, when they changed over the DSM model of testing. Um, I guess that was what she was speaking of. Went into where the levels came in. Your levels. So the levels would be more of the levels of supports you would need. So even though it's level 3, you're still severe, right? I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the standpoint
It,
of practicality, being able to get along in life. You think about Raymond. His. I mean, how he can multiply numbers in his head. Even I can't do what he could do in the movie. I mean, I can do 3 digits in my head, fine, but go much beyond that, and I can't match with him. But where he thought a candy bar and a new car were both worth about $100, and he couldn't do a simple practical application of his math. You've got $1 and you spend 50 cents. How much do you have left? And that sort of thing. So he would definitely not be level 1.
Right.
Might well be level 3. I mean, as it is, looking at the movie, he's confined to an institution, and that would tell me level 3, even though he has fantastic mathematical ability.
and I think too, I think so. Like if you were to look at him and then you have social skills, he can converse with people, he can speak with people, but there's people on the spectrum who can do it with being less noticeable that they're on the spectrum. So wouldn't that mean that him being affected in the same category, he's more severe? But then that would have to say that there's more severe and less severe, which is an example of what Nita and I were saying, that you you need more supports or you need less. But it could be the same category. Say if it's social skills, some people might be needing more supports and some less. That makes it a gradient. It makes it a spectrum.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. I think it's waiting to be accepted. And the one added me wanted to say hi. Hi, Lizzie.
Hi, Lizzie. Oh, you can come on. You can come on in a little bit, Lizzie. We like to start the show off. Hey, Spencer. I have let Joshua go out for sports. He started soccer last week, and his behavior is better. He's not having episodes. I think we have found a vital outlet for him to channel his emotions. I see a big change. This was a recommendation from his counselor. Awesome. Awesome.
Very good.
Yeah. I'm not sure what level my son is on. Okay. Yeah, I believe
Sometimes,
I seen where if 2013, I believe that's when they changed over. So if your child was evaluated before that using the older DSM model, and I believe some doctors still don't use levels yet. But I think that's when the levels started. I could be wrong.
yeah, I'm not sure when they started using levels, but in any case, it's the current terminology, and that's fine. My feeling is, as long as we stick with one set of terminology, we don't keep
Right.
flip flopping all over the place.
Confusing everybody. It's
Yeah,
confusing.
So then I have a question. When you think of like the levels, level 1, 2, and 3, right?
Mhm.
And so 3 needs the most supports, 1 needs the fewest. Uh, so if you were to say this person is a level 3, can they change and become a level 2 because they learned certain things and have less supports? So, meaning they can change levels?
That's a good question
I think
because DeAndre is 2 and 3, and some things like a while ago, like let's just use example his communication skills, right? He's learning to use more functional language, whereas before it was not there. So I'm thinking that was level 3. So he kind of climbed up a little bit to level 2 because he has a little more understanding. He won't reach level 1 unless, of course, there's some miracle that happens. But it did. And I guess some days where he doesn't want to communicate or he's just having one of those days, I guess that switch turns back off. That's actually a good question, though, Linda. Now that you mentioned
Because
that.
then it kind of makes a difference between a diagnosis and an assessment level. Because then the assessment level would be like, okay, he's assessed at this level right now, but meaning that it can change.
Right, right.
and I think level can change. And for one thing, if you're talking about a child, remember there the level is an attempt to predict the amount of support he's going to need as an adult, and of course, that for one thing is as he gets closer to adulthood, it can become clearer, what level of support he's actually going to need versus, when he was 5, 6 years old, what it looked like he was going to need. That's one thing. Then the other thing, even in adulthood, it's possible, as Linda said, that some people who are level 3 may develop enough, skills to be able to be considered level 2, and some people who are classified level 2 may develop enough skills to be able to be called level 1.
Yeah. Okay, Lizzie says, going to an autism fashion show. Oh, you're in a fashion show. Awesome. Awesome. Hope to see some pictures. To them, I say, do not dare be afraid. Oh, to the parents, be afraid of what anyone has to say about making the best decisions or speaking out for your child. You know your child best. You are so right. You are
Yeah.
so right. We are our children's experts. It's good to take a little advice and maybe some suggestions, but don't ever be afraid if you need to speak up for your child.
Yeah, and don't let people guilt trip you
Oh yeah, that's a good word.
into listening to bad advice. And sometimes relatives, sometimes family members will do that.
Yeah,
Um, you
go
know,
get your
maybe
underwear
your
on.
parents, maybe other relatives, particularly older relatives, are liable to try to guilt trip you into listening to advice that is bad advice.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, you guys. I had to push DeAndre away. He's in his underwear, streaking around the house. Want to get on camera.
Oh yeah, we don't want that. Yeah.
Hey, Kenyana. We've been going through a lot. Daniel is missing an organ and may need surgery. He goes in for a body scan September 6th to see if the organ is missing. Pediatrician thinks he has a genetic disorder. You don't mind us or me asking which organ is he missing, or do they suspect he's missing? Is that Pammy? I could tell by the hearts.
Hi,
Hey,
Facebook
Pammy.
user.
Hey, Pam.
Don't come in the camera. Pull your shirt down or go put some pants on. Okay, well, don't come over here if you're not putting pants on. What do you want? What do you want? What? What do you want?
But yeah, the business of family members guilt tripping, I've dealt with that even though I did not raise an
Here.
autistic child, but still, even with children in general, you know, we had, you know, particularly Dorothy's maternal grandparents and maternal side of her family trying to pressure us. Well, we're older, and so you should listen to us. Uh,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
and things that we knew were bad advice.
Yeah, right.
But just like she needs hard-soled shoes now that she's walking. Well, no, that Dr. Spock and all medical experts agree that that's bad advice. That it's best for kids to walk around the house barefoot when they're little. But and my parents, agreed with us, but Judy's parents said, kept trying to tell us she needs hard-soled shoes on her feet at home.
Oh yeah, remember we used to what were the Stride Rights and the Buster Browns?
Yeah,
Those high top white shoes.
yeah. So that's
Uh,
what I say. When it comes to autism, they'll do the same thing. They'll try to guilt trip you. Yeah,
yeah.
we're older. You should listen to us because we're older.
Mm-hmm. Daniel is level 2, but his severe ADHD makes his symptoms worse.
Yeah.
Thanks for clarifying. He needs some help then. He's level 2.
Yeah.
Hi, Marie.
Hi, Mari.
Feel free to ask any questions. That's what we're here for, to chit chat and help each other out the best we can.
Well, basically, we're considered level 1. You and I would both be considered level 1. Level 1 replaces the expression high functioning. As some have objected to the expression high functioning because they said it is an implied insult to those who would be classified as low functioning.
Okay.
Even though I've never actually heard the expression low functioning used.
Right. My son does need help with doing things like brushing his teeth. Okay. So he would need some supports.
So I guess so when
Okay.
Emily was so when Emily was diagnosed, she wasn't diagnosed with a level. What
Right.
is the purpose of the level? It's if a professional actually diagnoses with a level, does it limit or does it open up treatment options?
Yeah.
It should.
That's my understanding. Listening to everything, is what the girl says and whatever. So your level would help with deciding the support needs and treatments. So if you're level 1, you need minimal support. So this person might qualify for whatever, maybe speech. I don't know. Level 2, this helps the doctors decide. I can't figure it out because now that everything's coming into play, because if you are on, everybody is different. So
it's almost like you might be able to backward do it. Like, so if they got all the supports that they were assessed as and deciding that they needed, so if a doctor decided this child needs this many supports, they could look at the supports and almost categorize them into 1, 2, or 3, right? By how many supports they have. But what about the people, so like going back to what level you're diagnosed with is what services you're qualifying for. What about the people who aren't diagnosed under 1, 2, or 3?
Well, my understanding is level is really supposed to be, when applied to a child, it's supposed to be, an attempt to predict the amount of support that child is going to need when he or she grows up and becomes an adult. When applied to an adult, it represents the degree of support the person needs, to be able to function as an adult. Level 1, we can function independently Level 2 needs some support. Level 3 needs a lot of support.
Yeah, it can get confusing though when it comes to that because, like with DeAndre, he's 2 and 3. So, I mean, and then some days his level 2 can go up to a level 3 and vice versa. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I
it
think
really
Emily's about
is.
the same.
It really comes down to the fact, when he's a grown man,
Okay.
how much, ongoing support is he in general going to need? Now, he may have good days and bad days. All people have good days and bad days. Neurotypical people have good days and bad days. Um, but again, the question is what are his needs in general going to be? And that determines, and are these actually autistics saying this?
I don't know.
You
I
know,
actually don't know. I do know that the DSM model changed because DeAndre was, diagnosed. He had 2 evaluations, so they used both models. Um, so I don't know. I don't know who pushed. We have to research and see who helped push the DSM model to change and why exactly. Um,
yeah, I'm not crazy about the expression actually autistic, although it technically, and it's true, I'm actually autistic, but the problem I have is the way the way I've seen it used is that
yeah,
the people who label themselves, put that word actually in front of autistic, tend to have an adversarial relationship with parents of kids on the spectrum, and
they can be really mean.
yeah, and that's a problem because
They don't want to.
we should
They
all.
want us to listen to them, but they don't want to give the parents a chance, or they don't want. Some of them are just outright rude, and I think, if they just take the time to calm down and start nitpicking, with every little thing we do, uh, we're not doing it right. They can do it better. We're using a puzzle piece. It's ABA. It's just a whole bunch
Yeah,
of unnecessary things.
yeah, I pulled out
It's
of another group that had the ambitious, mission of being a support group for both for autistic adults and for parents of autistic kids, but it proved to be neither. It functioned as neither because just drama all the time, and all caused by young autistic adults. I emphasize the word young autistic adults. Who, I can relate to this because when I was a young man, I had strong opinions about a lot of things. And they have strong opinions about a lot of things. And
Very strong.
yeah, and get offended
Very
by
strong.
anyone who doesn't share their opinions.
Hmm. So Marie says, maybe out of left field, but I am a single mother and there are some difficult days, but we keep striving him. And my son, I don't have any help. And in my small town, they offer no help for autistic children. Can I request a provider? It depends on what type of provider are you saying, and where are you located? Where are you from?
Yeah, that can be tough when you're in a rural area. You're out in the sticks, and it can take it can be tough to find somebody. I mean, if you're in the city, of course you can relate and need a there are doctors galore, specialists galore. You can find pretty much anything you want in the way of specialists. If one school doesn't offer supports, you can find another one that does. But when you're in a small town, that can be tough.
Yeah, Yeah, heard many stories, especially when you're in a small or rural area where services are just not available. Lizzie says
Sorry.
questions. Oh, go ahead. Were you going to say something, Linda?
Kenyana said for Daniel, it's his right testicle.
Oh, poor baby.
Wow. Yeah, I read that, Lizzie. And I don't know, I mean, the school system or the bus system or somebody's going to have to take some action about that substitute that did that. Did that person have the information? Had it been explained to the person? All this, all that the person had to do. I don't know, but obviously, I mean, what all you can do about it is make sure that the right authorities in the school system or the bus company or whoever knows what happened and understands what the repercussions were and what the repercussions could have been,
And
and hope that they take appropriate action.
yeah,
Why
and
would they do that? Why?
that's what I was gonna say. I guess it should be they have a thing door to door, hand to hand, and then they have line of sight where that child is never without adult supervision.
Right.
So the child shouldn't be let off if there's nobody waiting for that child. That's what they need to implement. I don't know what they have in place right now, but if they let her off 6 stops earlier, and who was waiting for her? That's the question. Who was there who she was handed off to?
And the
And there
bus
was a
driver, they
substitute
need to
employee.
get with that bus driver.
Well,
Hmm.
my understanding is there was a substitute involved, either bus driver or assistant to the bus driver. There was a substitute involved in this and that mistake.
Hey, Tammy.
Hi, Tammy. But that's why when Lizzie posted, a substitute was involved in it.
Was that?
And
I guess that was. Who was that bull?
Yeah, from what they
looks
were
like
saying
Tim,
too.
I
Yeah.
guess, right?
Teresa says my son does need some help with brushing teeth, getting dressed sometimes, making his breakfast, dinner, tying shoes, making sure he takes medication. The hospital psychologist from my local children's hospital gave him. Yeah, my son was initially diagnosed with that too, Teresa. Oh no, does the bus driver not know? Right, that's what I'm thinking, Foxy, because
And
they need to really what's going on with transportation.
exactly, substitute, no substitute, whatever, they need to have that situated and on paper for each student,
Yeah,
because it's a substitute, and yeah, mistakes can happen, but that's a mistake that can be, very costly. That's
right.
a very important job, and you
Yeah.
cannot slip on this.
With the substitute, the reason that that's important is that it raises two possibilities as to where the error may have occurred. It may have been that substitute wasn't briefed properly, um, or it may be the substitute just wasn't paying attention to what he or she was told,
Yeah, and
and
that's it.
the girl wants to get off. Okay, let her
Hmm.
off.
And that's a good point that you bring up too, because then you can figure out, was it dispatch when they had the substitute and they give the substitute the schedule and the route and the students? Yeah, that's it could be lacking there where the notes weren't handed down to the substitute.
I probably can't say them here. Say it. Say it. What? I'm curious now. Not true because I was diagnosed and went through testing and was told high functioning. Okay, I'm lost. What's not true? But you were high functioning because you have Asperger's, right? Or what would be considered high functioning Asperger's or level 1, right?
I
Yeah.
think she's saying where well, I mean, what is how they don't use high functioning anymore. I think what she's saying
Okay.
is that she was told she was high functioning and that
Ah,
it wasn't they didn't use 1, 2, and 3. They used high functioning, I guess.
Well, yeah, and I think what she's saying, I think what Nita, you two said, Nita and Linda, is that not all doctors are up on the latest terminology.
Exactly. Yeah,
and
because all of these
Foxy,
years.
Foxy, make sure you check your inbox. I sent the mod invite. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Linda.
Oh no, I was going to say what Charles said. Yeah, because Emily is never, they do triannual IEPs where they do all the psychological testing again through school, and they'll gauge the autism is still present, or still diagnosed, I guess. But she's never once had levels. So yeah, just like Charles said, the lingo may vary between doctors
Yeah.
You
throughout.
got to remember some doctors too, who are used to the old terminology may be resistant to using new
Change over.
terminology.
Well, when DeAndre got evaluated for insurance purposes, when he started the OT and speech, she didn't use levels. She just, wrote out her findings. She didn't use levels, but the evaluation right before that, that's where all the levels came into play. And Alex says, well, hope you have a great night. You too,
You too,
Alex.
Alex.
Bye, Alex.
I agree and disagree because, yes, you are either autistic or not, but they all are different symptoms. Yep. Yep. It's like saying if you met a person with autism, you met just one person with autism. I hope I said that right. Yeah. Yep. That is so true. All different. She's stating, in essence, autism is not a nuance, but it certainly is.
Well, so somebody
Well,
asked if she was actually autistic or referenced that she may be actually, the term quote unquote actually
right.
autistic. And
Uh,
one thing with actually autistic, the way that they argue or the way that they bring out their points, they almost box everybody in as being the same.
right.
ABA did not work for me. It will not work for anybody
Right.
on the spectrum.
Yeah.
It does not
Yeah.
work. But then the way that she described it, she stuck with that when she said, you're either autistic or not. But she deviated when she said, you may suffer in this area and you may do better in this area and you might not do as well in this area. So she kind of deviated from what she was saying, and it kind of deviates from actually autistic type of ways of
Yeah.
thinking because by saying that they vary in different levels in different areas admits that everybody's different. So it kind of, yeah, it was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of strange, but yeah, I mean, contradictory.
Right. Right. Yes, I agree, autistic or not, but the levels are not true. Okay. So you don't like the levels. And that's okay because uh, a lot of people I've seen a lot of parents they want people to know, hey, my child is high functioning, or hey, my child has severe autism. You know, that's
Yeah.
their preference. But when it comes to, I guess, the medical or supports world, they're trying to change over. They're trying to use this new way of you know levels or a new way of thinking. Take a deep breath, my friend. Um, uh, the post is, I don't know if she's actually one of the actually autistics, but I shared a post where she was talking about the levels of autism. Her name is EJ Thomas. So I'm not sure if she's, part of um, part of the actually autistics.
I think that the levels, I never made a big deal about Emily not having level one, two, or three. I
Hmm.
can see the supports that she needs, and I can categorize her in like level two and three. But as far as me being told what level she needs to be in, I don't really see an importance in it. Only reason why I would see that it might be important is if it was going to state she can qualify for these services because she's this level. But other than that, I think the levels maybe an identifying identifier for other people, but to me, it never really. Emily
Right,
is who she is, and I know what she needs, so it never
right.
really made a difference.
And we know best, right?
Exactly.
Hi,
Yeah,
Christina. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Charles.
yeah. Some have said they want to think they should abolish the level terminology altogether, high functioning level, whatever. But if you abolish that, somebody's going to invent ways to say the same thing because there's a need to distinguish the degree to which a person is impaired in terms of being able to function in life. And there's a need to distinguish someone like me from someone like Rain Man.
Doesn't the severity go by how much help they need to function in society? What do you mean? The levels?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, exactly.
How much they depend on someone to help them? Yeah. Yeah. But I would think even still, Christina, even with the other, the umbrella, you know, they were using, that would tell too, you know. I'm not sure what level my son is either. He's 13. Okay. So when he was diagnosed, Tammy, what diagnosis did they give him? If you don't mind. Levels have to do with money. Follow the money. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Victoria. Yes, they can change level. Honestly, I think the level depends on the day. That could be true.
Which is
Good
kind
point.
of which
Okay.
is like what you said. Like, what if they're having a tougher day on that day, or they're not cooperating, which is kind of messed up because then if they're diagnosed with that, they're diagnosed with that according to their bad day or their, not cooperating that
Right.
day. And it's a diagnosis.
Yeah, it's going to be put on paper because if they're not feeling it
Exactly.
right, right. Um, Ralph's levels are decided by evaluating him. His doctor never gave us a level. Okay. Yeah. Um, that's why I don't seek diagnosis for Molly because if she's having a great day, I don't think she'd be diagnosed. But she's level one, possibly even two, especially when it comes to social and emotional. Okay. Yeah, I can see that side of it too. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I knew it was you. Keon, his right testicle. They
Yeah,
said it's not in its right place. So if he has one and it's not where it's supposed to be, he's gonna need surgery. Oh, he has to go through surgery.
yeah,
Does not exist. There's nothing they can do. Well, hopefully he doesn't have to go through any surgery. Poor baby. Okay, you guys, we at the last few minutes. I put the link. You are welcome to come on up for our last few minutes and share something, say some last words for the night. Uh, the doctor gave, the doctor told me at 8 he shouldn't be 5 feet tall and 114. Plus his autism, ADHD, anxiety, and intellectual learning disabilities, and his missing organ She believes he has too many things going on with him. That's why she suspect. Okay, not genetic. Okay. Ralph's doctor knows nothing about levels. Okay, he's old school doctor.
Yeah.
Hmm. I mean, I see the point of levels, but what if your child is evaluated on a really bad, yep, day, really good day? Not every day is the same. Yep, yep, and yep. There you go. I think that's where a lot of misdiagnoses come in.
And I think that that's why I like to with I reverse categorize Emily by looking at the categories and me being able to put where she is and seeing it. But as far as having a number attached to her officially, I don't think that that would be right because it depends on the day. It even depends on the testing environment, you know,
Right.
and who's doing
My boys never had a level diagnosis. They are 24 years old. They were diagnosed profoundly low functioning autistic. Okay. They will always need someone to help them to 100% daily skills, but I was told they won't get the highest amount of help because that is for people who are in wheelchairs or being tube fed. I, I'm not understanding that last part. The highest amount of money for help? I'm not sure. I believe everyone, as far as when it comes to government help, they everyone is, unless they're just in a hospital, are basically on the same when it comes to help. Wheelchairs or not.
Exactly, and I think maybe unless you were to categorize the wheelchairs and the feeding tube more expensive, but I think that the needs are pretty fairly met. I think.
Yeah. They are mean and bullies. I no longer listen. Right. They are. They are. I block them out, and I see a lot of parents trying to have conversations with them, but it's for me. It's like I avoid the stress. Um, if they come in a group, we can try and talk. If they don't want to listen, then they get blocked. So most of them are. Yep, most of them are not diagnosed. And she's talking about actually autistic group of people. It all boils down to money. Are you the services? Are you're not able to get help, Christina? Or
And what state are you in?
yeah, yeah? It all depends on the states. That was me. Um, Accidents and mistakes happen. Maybe the paperwork was unreadable. I cannot tell you how many names and contact numbers are unreadable because of parents' handwriting. Oh, there must be somebody handwriting.
When I just asked what state she was in,
Uh-huh.
Emily in the background. I'm putting myself on and off mute. Emily in the background said California.
Hey, Emily.
Emily, they say hi.
Mm.
Hi.
Hi, Emily.
Say cheese.
Emily, say cheese. No.
Cheese. Um, I had to write. I had to write from the ISP and IEPs what to do if nobody is there to get music to get. Okay, can y'all make that out? Can you make that out?
I had to write.
Let me see.
I'm the ISP and IEPS. What to do if nobody is there to get music sons? I don't know. It doesn't. I can't make sense out of that statement.
Okay. Danielle, you're late. How are
Hey,
you?
Hi,
Danielle.
Danielle.
Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle. Yes, you're going. Gosh, that hurts.
What was he asking? He's going to
Well,
dance?
it's Sunday. He's supposed to be going over to Daddy's house. So I'm taking him to school tomorrow. So he's staying here. but he knows it's time for Daddy to come get him and pick him up. So he's gonna do this all night. Daddy's house, Daddy's house.
His voice is getting deep.
Yes. Hey Michelle, I never got a level. Okay. I have to go now so I can help myself figure out what. Okay. How
Bye,
about
Okay.
Teresa.
you?
Okay. Well, enjoy your dinner.
Okay, you guys, we are at the end. We're over our hour, but this was a great conversation.
It was.
Come back and do it again. Um, I think they should stop the levels because the day can make the levels change. Yeah, yeah. Unless they go by a 5 or 10 year average. Yep, that's a good idea there. Gotta go, guys. Bye, Pammy. Okay, everybody. I appreciate you all. Linda, any last words this evening?
Everybody have a great week, and as always, we know what's best for our child, and just keep sticking to that instead of to making the importance 1, 2, or 3.
Mr. Charles.
Everybody have a good 2 weeks. Remember, we're not going to do
Oh,
this
yeah,
next
that's
week
right.
because
Labor
of
That's
Day.
Day. But everybody have a good 2 weeks. And
Thanks, Charles.
if your kids are starting school, hope that goes well.
Yeah. So tomorrow is DeAndre's first day back. So that's what I will
Oh,
be
wow.
doing tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. You did say school, huh? I forgot he didn't go back yet.
Yeah. Yeah. First day back.
I hope he has a good day.
Thank
It
you.
will be good.
And I hope. Danielle, where you at? We're waiting
I know.
on
I was going to say that.
Have a great evening and positive, healthy week from Roxy. Thank you, Roxy. um, good night, everyone. Oh, go right ahead.
Night.
Go right ahead, really. Okay, we'll have to talk. Post it in the group, Stacy, because
She'll probably get more answers
yeah,
on there
you'll
too.
probably get more answers because everybody's gone now. Post your question in the group about insurance. Okay, everyone, thank you. And we
Thank
will see
you.
you after
All
Labor Day.
right. Night.
Night.
Bye. Good night.